Seagrass is such an important part of our environment here in Southwest Florida. It provides habitat for our fish as well as food for our manatees. But unfortunately, that seagrass is going away and being replaced by green algae. I spent the day with Calusa waterkeeper Cody Pierce to get a closer look at this problem. Calusa waterkeeper Cody Pierce grew up in Lee County, fishing its waters recreationally and professionally.
At one time, we just had what seemed like an overabundance of natural area. Everywhere you went, you could catch redfish and snook and trout. These days, it's much more challenging to do that.
He says that challenge greatly stems from changes in water quality and loss of our seagrass. What was once lush seagrass meadows are now dense green algae beds.
When you lose that biodiversity, you lose the biomass. The fact that we are going from a multicellular advanced ecosystem down to a predominantly simple single-cellular organism is quite concerning for us.
I wanted to see these changes for myself, so Pierce took me throughout Matlacha Pass to some of his former fishing spots to find areas in total void of seagrass meadows. Instead, we found algae, not just on the seafloor, but also wrapped around mangrove roots.
Since we have had less and less of those meadows available to our grazing species like manatees and sea turtles, we therefore see an increased amount of grazing that's taken place on the grass that's already there. We see a lot of stressors after Hurricane Ian. Any of the grass species that weren't very well mature, established, specimens were basically just washed away with the storm surge.
Pierce says we are truly at a tipping point when it comes to restoring these valuable ecosystems.
How long can we continue to push the can down the road where we stand up and fight for what's ours? This area has sustained life for over 2,000 years. We've had just but maybe 150-year chapter here, and we've seen the loss of this is something that you can't quite put into words.
But he's still optimistic that if we reduce pollutants and excess nutrients in our waterways, the seagrass may still have a chance.
We need to take care of the nutrients. We need to have a better understanding of how these storms are impacting these areas. And there's many aspects of this. One that doesn't get spoken about very often is something as simple as boat wake. When you have an area like the Miserable Mile that has sometimes 500 to 1,000 vessels traversing it a day, that increased agitation from the boat wake too is another factor that does play into the health of a seagrass estuary.
Restoring these ecosystems, he says, is a critical task for all of us in Lee County and Southwest Florida as a whole. In Matlacha, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, Fox 4.